I want to give you some words of encouragement in a time of great difficulty, being affected by a pandemic, which is the outbreak of the disease COVID 19. But yet, in this difficult time, we can have a place to run to, a place for refuge, a place for protection. In the book of Psalms 56, verse 3, David used these words. He said, "At what time I'm afraid, I will trust the Lord." But what's the situation that surrounds David at the time that would have caused him to do that which he did? David was running from Saul, and David felt as though he was being hunted like an animal. Fear gripped David. So David went into a cave called the Cave of Adullam. And in that cave, also joined to him were men who were demotivated, men who were distressed, men who were in death. So that's the kind of men that were with David in that cave. But in the midst of that circumstance, in the midst of that difficulty, in the midst of that dark cave, in the midst of a trying time in his life, David, in the midst of those difficulty, did something. He said, "At what time I'm afraid, I will trust the Lord." So David knew he was afraid, but his fear did not stop him from trusting God. And that word trust is the Hebrew word batak. It means to lean on, it means to grab hold of, it means to cling to. So what David was doing in that cave, rather than allow the fear to overtake him and allow the circumstance around him to take hold of him, he looked up into heaven, as we would say, or we look to the sky rather than look to the ground. And there he chose to grab hold of God in the midst of his fear. And so that is what caused David to be able to deal with the difficulty that he is in. So I say the same to you today. Grab hold of God in the midst of your circumstance. It doesn't matter what is happening, but you grab hold of God now. Grab hold of him, because when you are afraid, you can choose to do some foolish things. But David chose to trust in the God that he knows. So today, in the midst of your circumstance, it doesn't matter if you have the disease, it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. You, me, your friends, your family, grab hold of God in the midst of the circumstance, and you will see what will happen. God will make you bold, and God will make you strong in the face of your difficulty. So do not allow your circumstance to make you run from God, but let it drive you to God, to grab hold of him. I hope these words would encourage you that you can stand strong in these times of difficulty. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.